Welcome back to Long Island Main Street News, where we're always bringing you local community, small business, and local government leaders. Also, we connect you to, in this case, business and financial support that can help our local downtowns and communities across Long Island. So today, we're excited. We have Ian Samlin, who's the CEO of Real Capital. Now, they're out in New York City, but you're a Long Island guy.
Yes, I'm
you're
a
Long
Long
Island
native.
out of Long Beach. So Ian's here, and I guess the first question, I'm getting to know you really honestly through the Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce. Our good friend Frank Camerano connected me to you, but I certainly have been aware about some of the things you've been doing for a while. So I'm a little bit aware. But hey, tell folks about Real Capital and some of the work you've been.
First, I want to thank Eric for letting me on the show. A little bit about Real Capital, very much a family-based business. Started this company a little over 4 years ago with my first cousin, Evan. Really always had a dream to start a business together, and our parents really wanted nothing to do with that. So finally, after trial and error, different things, Evan kind of starting in stand-up comedy, I kind of called him one day and I said, we're going into the business together. Our parents aren't going to like it, but it's time.
Wow. All right, so you just jumped into it. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So
that's the risk. That's what entrepreneurs risk,
yeah,
right?
so I worked for another company out of college in the space. Evan was again doing stand-up. He was actually working at a waiter at Ben's Deli.
Okay.
Was trying to get his real estate license at the same time, and I was just like, you got to come with me.
Yeah.
It's time.
Okay. It's wild, it's just the things folks do to kind of get themselves into the roles they play, and then they're successful about it, which is great. So this brings me to my next question, really. What void were you filling? So you saw a need to get small business capital, and one of the challenges, we did an SBA study back in 2012, and it's still a challenge to today. And we found the number one issue was access to capital. A lot of people using their credit cards to finance themselves for different things. It was crazy. So what void are you filling?
So really, we'd love to help out mom and pop small businesses across America. We kind of look at their bank statements, analyze them, kind of qualify them for, mostly what we can get them is kind of 75% to 100% of their monthly receivables, and really just kind of be that matchmaker between them and the direct bank, using their capital and kind of consulting them along the way, how they're going to utilize the money, making sure they're not over leveraged, with the payments, and just really making sure they have a strategic plan before kind of signing the paperwork.
Right. That's smart. So let's stick with this a little bit. So what areas do you assist with lending? What business categories? What industries do you typically dive into?
Yeah, we kind of see it all. From construction to restaurants, to trucking, to auto sales. There's really not one industry that we don't like, I would say.
Okay, interesting. So what size and scale financing do you do?
So typically, we like to look for someone with annual revenue around 200 grand to say about 15 million in that kind of
That's
wide
the sweet
range.
spot. That is wide range stuff.
Yeah, definitely a wide
But it's
range.
probably what's needed, because a lot of folks, when we did, like I said, we did that survey, it was like 9 years ago. But we had a preponderance of businesses in that range, and that was definitely one of their biggest needs. And it's a group of people that's kind of misunderstood, probably, right? I mean, a lot
Definitely.
of smaller businesses.
So we see a lot of people that maybe were rejected from the banks. The bank wasn't quick enough at the time, or the bank just didn't give them enough money, and they kind of used us as a bridge, from working capital to expansion to payroll to equipment needs. We see it all.
Right. And so what? So you've had a success rate with these folks, right? I mean, it's not like they're getting involved with you and then it's still,
So the one thing I would like to say we pride on is we really want a long time, forever customer, client.
Yeah. Right.
We never try to fund someone once.
Right.
We try to ensure that they're going to come back to us by sending them, Bialys and bagels, every time we fund them. And relationships to us are really everything, especially in our business. So we'll do what it takes to kind of get them to that next level. And if it is, say, as easy to getting them to a different sector of financing, we would love to do that for them.
So a lot of these folks in this range, they just don't, a lot of the traditional banks, I always think of different microloan programs and other things that have to kind of fill these gaps. I know my friends over at ASEAN in the city, they kind of fill these gaps too. What are maybe the challenges with some of the folks that you see as they're trying to interface with the banks, the traditional banks?
Paperwork. Extensive paperwork, days and days of paperwork with maybe not enough direction, and it can be challenging, it can be intimidating, and with us, it's a little bit more simple. 3 months of bank statements, an application, and we're in underwriting.
So give me an example of a project that you got lending to, that or capital to, that give us a face of something. Yeah.
Maybe you can elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, so just like an example of somewhere where you've gotten a business you got financing to that, how'd they do? Case example.
Cool. So we helped finance Bell's Bialys in Long Island.
Okay.
And we were able to kind of get them, different lifts, for their factory, as well as kind of help them, get some capital in to, bring on another investor. So we saw them kind of graduate from kind of the small, mid-sized company to a very large, company with, helping them out along the way.
That's great. That's great. No, and you see, Associated, they're able to hire more folks and
get, kind of from there, like I was saying, we really stress the relationships. We formed this bond, and now they are the sponsor for all of our, Bialys and, bagels.
Okay.
A lot of times, what would happen is we form these bonds with our clients, and we kind of figure out what they're doing, and we try to incorporate with what we're doing.
Okay.
There was another company called Plotograph. At the time, I don't know if they're around anymore, but they were a big social media app, digital marketing.
Okay.
And I'm, good friends with one of the ex-owners.
Sure.
And she, has really been helping us out with marketing as well. So it's cool to kind of help people and then kind of see how they can bring it back to us, and we can use it in our everyday business. Well,
that's right, and this really is, you want to see where you're helping somebody and then, they bring business back to you. It's a win-win all around. So there is that element of, it's almost in some ways a form of giving back and philanthropy too. This gets me at coronavirus. So coronavirus happened, and
yes.
Everybody was struggling, and the SBA it was a challenge to get access to resources. The big guys got resources, the small businesses didn't. And there's a number of things you guys did through this process. So, and that's kind of how you came to our friend Frank too. So, tell us. So how did you pivot through this period?
Yeah. So coronavirus for everyone, obviously uncharted territory. No one could have ever expected that. I actually got engaged the weekend before. Kind of Corona was very viral. Showed up to work that Monday, and we had to send home our entire team that day with no kind of direction as to when we'll be coming back, where we'll be going, and it was very stressful. So our kind of first plan of action was really figure out our business, figure out what we need to do to kind of survive during these, again, uncharted times. We upped our marketing, and once we kind of had our infrastructure down from a remote standpoint, we really wanted to help out anyone we could. So we kind of took the initiative of helping clients sign up with the PPP loan as well as the EIDL,
right.
And really, making sure they can get this financing, educating them on it, showing them how to sign up, what documents are needed. So kind of a full-on consultant where there really wasn't as much in it for us at the time, but we really were there and we wanted to help clients and, hope they come back to us one day.
Right. No, that's great. So tell us about masks. Tell us about that.
So at some point, during Corona, we really put our heads together and we wanted to figure out how to kind of give back to the community. So we purchased 200,000 face masks and necessarily wanted to kind of hand them out locally to eventually, small businesses.
Wow.
But then we're introduced to the Chamber of Commerce, where we teamed up with Frank.
Yep.
And Frank, helped us distribute them, all over Long Island. And it really felt good, giving them, I actually hand delivered maybe 20 different boxes,
Nice.
Shook people's hands, and it makes you feel some type of way.
Yeah, it does. I know we were raising nowhere near that many masks, but we were pulling some masks together for people, and it's a good feeling when people really felt they needed it. It was a life and death situation. So
Yeah.
you're out there. 200,000 is a big number, particularly the price points at the time.
Yeah.
So however you figured that out, bless you.
I know my mom was very pleased because they were actually in our garage in Merrick for a while. So when we got them out, she was very happy.
That's funny. It's funny. You had them local. That's great. So no, I'm glad you did that. So then really, I guess this begs the question. So you managed your coronavirus, you kind of pivoted your operation, you've developed all these relationships and goodwill between the mass, between processing folks, loans and grants, and trying to get access to capital to businesses who were locked down and really struggling. What's next for you guys?
So right now, I would like to say we're kind of doing the opposite of most people. We're going right into the heart of the city. We just got a brand new office that we are moving into today. So very exciting for us. Trying to bring guys back and kind of get that, rah morale, going again. And we very much want to be in the office. I know there's a lot of people that prefer to work from home, and our bunch really feeds off each other, and everyone needs each other. So we really have that family bond, going right now.
Well, the energy is important. I mean, and that is good. And to have the camaraderie of your team. And it's not the same way with Zoom. It is tough. It's like it's not the same as being in person. I agree 1,000%. So you're in New York City, and it's funny because usually Long Islanders are critiqued for just trying to take business from New York City. Here you're Long Islander going in the city and kind of trying to fire up, bring Manhattan back a little bit. So with some forms of capital and development. So how's it going?
It's going well.
Yeah, you're figuring it out.
It's going well. I'd say as of kind of August, things have been somewhat back to normal.
Yeah.
We're definitely seeing in bank statements, businesses are really coming back.
Yeah.
And it's good to see, people are growing. And I feel like a little less scared. I know there's potentially a new strand going around, but just having the kind of experience of the last year, I feel like people are more ready than ever. They know what to do.
Yeah.
If there is a second wave or third wave, I feel like these people know what they need to do.
Yeah, I get the sense that a lot of people just want to get back to business. They'll put the masks on if they have to, but they just want to. They're not looking to shut down everything or stay at home anymore. It's people. I think a lot of the people we deal with are definitely want to be out. So it's interesting. So all right, so you're in your city. You guys are firing up all your different lending programs, and so that's great. So tell me, let's take a step back. Tell me something about you personally.
Personally, big family man.
Okay.
Family means everything to me.
Family business, obviously.
Family
so,
business.
yeah.
I got 4 or 5 family members that work with us. My grandpa owned his own business for a while. My dad owns his own business. So
Sure.
I knew it was in my nature to kind of start up.
Yeah.
As well as I'm a big foodie. People
Okay.
don't think I am because I don't eat a lot of different foods. I'm very picky, but I can always recommend, in my opinion, good stuff.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to put you on the spot. What in a Long Island downtown? What's your favorite restaurant, or one of your favorites? Give me a couple.
My favorite restaurant of all time is Don Pep's in Queens, Lefferts
Okay.
Boulevard. If you guys seen Entourage.
All right, that's not Long Island though. Nassau and Suffolk County. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. Well,
It's the quiz.
yeah. But
Anything out here? Long Beach? Got anything you like?
La Piazza and Merrick's really good.
Yeah, okay,
always
yep.
get some good pizza.
Yeah.
I got a favorite, in Seacliff, got La Spezia, Italian food.
Okay, nice.
Friends of
nice.
my buddy over there, Dario, he owns the restaurant. Italian food any day,
Yeah.
7 days a week.
Are you Italian?
I'm not Italian.
Okay.
No.
But you love
Sometimes people
Italian
think
food.
I am.
Yeah, I was just
but-
wondering. So I was like, all right, maybe it was like a heritage thing
Yeah,
too. So. No, good. There's a lot of great Italian in Long Island.
Alter
Obviously, New
ego.
York
Some
City.
people call me the Godfather. Kind of
boy.
have that,
Okay.
take on a lot of other people's problems and love to kind of help.
That's great. You do, man. That's good. That's good. That's good. And obviously, having a family business, you obviously love your family. Because if you're in a family business and you don't love your family, that's a problem.
I've been told
so.
1,000,001 times, don't ever go into business
Yeah.
with family. It is the worst thing you can possibly do, but it works.
But it works for you.
It works I kind of have this funny way of doing the opposite of what everyone says.
There you go. Wow. All right. So how can people contact you? So I'm on your website right now. It's www.reilcap.com.
Yes. So we have different kind of forums on the website where
Okay.
you can apply now if you are looking for financing.
Okay.
We have different referral partnerships. If you're trying to refer us clients, there's commission in it for those guys where we have
Right.
forums on that as well. And I can definitely offer my email or customer service, email. Anyone wants to reach
Yeah, what
me.
is it? What is it? Yeah,
So
fire it
Ian IAN at realcap, REILCAP.com.
Great. All right, so this is good. All right, what advice would you give to small businesses in these times?
Go for it.
Really?
Yeah, I think
You're bullish.
I'm very
Good.
bullish.
I'm not saying you shouldn't be. I'm just embracing that.
Yeah, there's
concept.
a lot of, right now with the media, there's a lot of things being said, whether they're true or not. I just really think the time is now. There's so much opportunity out there. There's so many people itching to get back.
And you're seeing that in
Absolutely.
the people you're communicating with,
Yes.
that there's this kind of pent-up demand.
There's so much money to be made right now, and I think most of America's feeling that energy. And
Right.
just, again, go for it.
Yeah.
The time is now. I
Okay.
think the last year was really rough, but
Right.
what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
It happened. So we got to move forward, stick our head down and go for it.
And you could make up for losses and to get out of debts and things, because a lot of people did go into debt through this process, and
Unfortunately,
were
yes.
hurt really hard through the lockdowns, and and obviously from a human point of view, people were lost loved ones, and then also from a social medical point of view, there's a lot of people depressed and alcoholics and drug addicted through this time because the isolation and how it impacts you. You know, so there's a lot of pain that's gone through. So your message though is, hey, now's the time to kind of get up off the mat and
Absolutely
roll on out.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's good for the mind. Kind of just get out of the house. No matter how good your work, home setup is, you're still in your house.
Yeah. Get
You gotta get in your car. You gotta go to the train and whatever. You gotta go to work.
Yeah.
Whatever you gotta do. But I think you need to kind of have that separation.
All right, this is great. Really clear. This is what you're seeing out there. I'm glad you're providing value. I'm glad you've done some philanthropy, which is really wonderful.
Yeah.
We really value that. Ian, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
Good
thank
stuff, my
you.
friend. Yeah,
Awesome.
sure. Ian Samlin, CEO, Real Capital. It's REIL Capital. www.reilcap.com and Ian at realcap.com. Ways to reach him. Definitely has a bullish perspective on the economic times we're in. His company can certainly help the small businesses. The small businesses across Long Island do need access to capital, and they certainly weren't helped as much as they could have been through the pandemic. So it's nice to see another resource in the house. So we thank him for coming. What we always say to people is continue to shop local. And if you can do some philanthropy for people now in these times, it's so important. So think of your fellow neighbors and think about our food pantries out there too. So we'll catch you in the next edition.